Welcome to Joyful Kitchen. I want you to have a very relaxing, comfortable time here, and so that you feel happy in the kitchen and want to prepare things for the ones you love on Valentine's Day. What I like to always tell my guests is that this is your time and your space. So if you'd like to cook, please get up and we'll cook together. And if you'd like to just watch and observe, you're welcome to do that as well. There's no pressure. You just do as much or as little as you'd like to do. Today we're going to feature this beautiful recipe for Valentine's Day. We're going to make individual Mexican chocolate cakes with a molten dulce de leche center. So that combination of caramel and cinnamon and chocolate and salt is really a beautiful match made in heaven. And this is what's really lovely about this recipe is it's very easy to set up. You can set it up in advance, but then bake it during dinner so that the whole house fills with the aroma of chocolate, and then you serve it warm. And it only takes 15 minutes to bake, so it's really a quick and easy dessert. The other really nice thing about it is that it is gluten and dairy free. So if you have guests that are not eating any gluten, this is a great recipe for them as well. I've also made many modifications to this recipe, some not with the cinnamon and the spice, but I think the Mexican spice combination will be really nice. I've also made a vegan version using pureed beets instead of the eggs and the coconut oil instead of the butter. So this is a really adaptable and flexible recipe. So to start with, you need to use oven safe ramekins, and what I've done is I've buttered the inside of the ramekins and then dusted them with cocoa powder. And so that's what is inside here is the cocoa powder. And then what we're going to do is put a nice generous scoop of the dulce de leche in the center of each ramekin, and that's really going to create our molten center. So nice scoop. And dulce de leche is easy to purchase at, they have it in pretty much every single supermarket. I got this brand, which is the Stonewall Kitchen, at Roche Brothers. So what I try to communicate in all of my classes is how easy and accessible the ingredients are and where they can find all of the ingredients. In addition to local resources, I also have on my website a shop. It's an e-commerce shop where everything that is being used in the class can also be purchased, which is an important, I think, resource for everybody to make it very easy. I don't want there to be any hurdles for my guests to have to jump through to reproduce these dishes in their own kitchen. And accessible ingredients is part of that, right? As much as I want to make my recipes interesting and different, I don't want it made to make it very complicated for them to repeat the recipes at home. In fact, the greatest compliment I receive is when I run into my guests in other places, in the supermarket or the spin class, anywhere else, and they tell me that they've made the dishes again and again and again. So that's, you know, that nothing makes me happier than that. So once you put your fleur de sel in, your caramel in, then take some fleur de sel. And fleur de sel is this beautiful, flaky salt that's really used for finishing. And you can see it's this very, very large flake. And it has a beautiful flavor. It's not the same as just a salt for cooking. This really is like a large flake. And that combination of salt and caramel and chocolate really marries very well. In fact, salt is used in most baking, especially with chocolate, because it really helps to enhance the natural chocolate flavor. So this is the fleur de sel, and you can also find that at every market. So now the ramekins are set up. And what we need to do now is actually melt the chocolate and create the batter. So the batter is made of, we're making it for 6 portions. This is 8 ounces of a combination of both bittersweet and semi-sweet chocolate. I use Ghirardelli. I like to use very, very good quality ingredients. So the chocolate is Ghirardelli 60%, bittersweet. Also for the cocoa, I like to use the Drost, which is a Dutch cocoa, very, very good quality cocoa. So the key to melting chocolate is that you want to do it slowly and that you don't need any special equipment. You don't have to use a double boiler. You can just use a stainless steel bowl or over a pot of simmering water. And I really try to encourage my guests not to use the microwave for melting butter because it's harder to control. And the worst thing you can do is overcook or scorch your chocolate, and then it seizes up and becomes very difficult to work with. And if you're using very good ingredients, you could risk losing your chocolate and wasting it. So what I've just put in is 8 tablespoons of unsalted butter that's cubed to match with the 8 ounces of chocolate. And I like to cube everything very small so that it will melt and incorporate very quickly together. So I'm going to go over to the stove now. And basically I'm putting it on my pan that has simmering water in it. And I'm going to use this spatula and a pot holder. And meanwhile, I have my oven preheating at 400 degrees. And we just want to melt the chocolate and the butter and just keep stirring it so that the chocolate is not scorching on the bottom. And this actually happens very, very quickly. So just keep it moving. Now what's nice about this recipe is if you prefer using all bittersweet, you can use all bittersweet. If you'd like all semi-sweet, you can use that. Or you can create a mix, because we will be adding some brown sugar to the batter. So it's fine to use chocolate that doesn't have much sugar in it. The most important thing is using very good quality ingredients. Now while I'm doing a class, normally my guests would be up here and would be doing all of this work themselves. And I would just be coaching them through the process. So it is a very hands-on experience for my guests. So we're actually almost there. And this really is the most efficient and safest way to melt your chocolate without risking overcooking it. Almost there. Just want all the butter and the chocolate to be melted and smooth. And I can turn off my flame there. Okay. And it's really just the steam on the bottom of the bowl that's helping to melt. So now what we want to do, I'm going to put my bowl on this towel just so it doesn't spin around. And you can see this beautiful, creamy, shiny chocolate and butter. Now we have to quickly incorporate the other ingredients. So what I have here is the cocoa powder. That's 2 tablespoons of the Drost or Ghirardelli 100% cocoa powder, not Nestle. Don't use a product that has other things in it. Just use 100% good quality cocoa. Then this is 6 tablespoons of brown sugar. It's really 1 tablespoon per person. If you want to break it down, it's really not it's very decadent in flavor, but not very decadent in calories. Only 1 tablespoon. And then we're going to add the spices. This is cinnamon, a 1/4 teaspoon of the cinnamon, and 1/8 of a teaspoon of the cayenne. It's only a little bit of cayenne. And then this is 4 eggs, all of the egg, the yolk and the whites. I'm going to get a better tool to incorporate my eggs. And we're making this into a well incorporated smooth batter. And it's important with the chocolate, you want to work quickly. Okay, so it's nice and mixed up. And that's the batter, that's the whole batter. Now what we want to do is divide it among the ramekins. And I'm going to use a ladle. This is a 4-ounce ladle, and these are 6-ounce ramekins. And I'm going to pour the batter evenly in all of the ramekins. And what you're looking for when it bakes is it to still be a little bit jiggly and shiny in the middle. All it needs is 15 minutes at 400 degrees. I want this one to be cut short. Get everything out of that bowl, all that good chocolate and butter. There we go. Get it all out. Don't want to waste it. And that's it.